What's up, YouTube? It's Real Rob. Boy back with another video. Today's topic is how black mothers raise their sons to be their husband. Let me say that one more time. How black mothers raise their sons to be their husbands. See, growing up with an abusive mother as a child and throughout my teenage years, I always knew something was off, but I couldn't grasp it. I couldn't grasp it because I was suffering, I was hurting, and I was also uneducated about the situation. I was uneducated about narcissism. Typical children, typical teenager, we was uneducated. We didn't know nothing about what was going on until we got older. So it's understandable. It's understandable. See, as I got older, as I started to find out who I was as an individual, as I started to become wiser, as I started to become more independent and in control of my life, things got worse between me and my mom. Things got way worse. Things got worse because I was becoming something. I am something that she could never keep and something that she could never have. And that was a real man. As I started to become a man, in my own right, things got worse. Things took a turn for the worse. See, narcissistic mothers, they hate when their sons become a man in their own right. Because once a boy becomes a man, nobody can control a man. Nobody. And see, when you become a man, when you teach yourself how to become a man without having a father in a household, without having that father figure to guide you and shape you and mold you into a man, when you have to teach yourself these things on your own, your mother, the narcissistic mother, is going to catch on to that. She's going to start to see how you progressing in life. She's going to start to see how you becoming independent. She's going to start to see characteristics and traits inside of you as a man that she never seen in nobody else because she could not get a real man. So once she see that you are becoming something other than what she wants you to become, things get worse. See, as you become a man, your mother becomes, it makes her feel belittled by it. It makes her feel belittled. Because if the mother is single, which 85% of black women in today's society, not black women, but black mothers are single. 85%. 85%. It's an 85% single black mother rate in today's society. And please forgive me if I'm wrong, but I've done the research and comes to find out 85%. So guess what? Because of that, see, and once you become a man, once your mother sees that you are becoming a man, she's going to see this because she's going to eventually have to come to the terms that you're going to set out on your own. You're going to leave the nest. You're going to leave the house because you became a man of morals. You became a man of great principle. You became a man of great integrity. See, when your mother, narcissistic mother, sees you become a man, she cannot stand it. She will not stand it. She's going to hate. She's going to become severely jealous of it. Because you want to know why? Your mother knows one thing. And that one thing is, just like every man left her, just like the father left her, the son is eventually going to leave her. And narcissistic parents fear that. Narcissistic mothers, they fear abandonment because you are their supply. So if you can no longer supply them, you take your power back. And that leaves them broken. So in order to keep the supply from escaping, They have to manipulate, and they have to distort the bond that y'all have, because narcissistic, we never had a bond with our parents to begin with. The narcissistic abuse victims never had a bond with their parents. Never. They never had a bond with their parents to begin with. But anyway, back to my story. See, as I started getting older, as I started to grow, I noticed that my mom didn't talk to me as if I was her son. I noticed that she started to talk to me as if I was her husband, like as if I was her man or something. And I know this might sound weird, but it's true. It's the fucking truth. And what I mean by this is she would engage in me as if I was her husband. Meaning she would get me to do things at a young age that a man should have been doing, as if she would give me these ultimatums and these commandments as if I was her husband. I'm going to get to it. Y'all going to know what I mean by husband further in the video. She would expect me to do things that a father in a house should have been doing, at a young age. Meaning forcing me to cook food for everybody in the house, forcing me to pay her bills, and forcing me to take care of other people's children. And I don't even have children. If one sibling had problems, I was going through something, she would call me and tell me to go talk to him as if I was the father figure in the house. What do you mean go talk to him? I'm not the father. They need to talk to their father. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck you doing to me. Anyway, she would constantly seek unwanted attention from me. Meaning she would do things when I'm minding my business. Like when I'm in my own zone, when I'm shutting everybody out, she would do little things in order to get my attention. If she bought some new clothes, she would force herself to be in my peripheral vision, meaning she would force herself to be in my view to where I can notice her. Unwanted attention. If she got her hair done, she would come by me and just try to force me to look at her, meaning she would say stuff, she would act a certain way just so she can get that attention, so she can get that acceptance, that validation. She act like a little girl trying to impress a boy at school. And I'm like 17, 18 at this point. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. You don't got no man. Who and what is you doing this for? Because you don't have no man. You go up and down. You swear up and down that you don't need no man. You happy without no man. But this my thing. You acting like a woman. You acting like a girl that's in search of a man. That's what I'm trying to figure out. It wasn't till later on in life that I figured out how she viewed me. It was after the gaslighting, the blame shifting, and the projection. She would say things like, oh, I wasn't going to be nothing in life. I was going to be nothing. I was going to be just like my father. He wasn't nothing in life. She would tell me these things. She would tell me to be the man of the household, which is manipulation. What do you mean be a man of the household? What do you mean by be the man of the household? That is not my job to be the man of a household. If I'm your son, why are you talking to me as if I'm your husband? As if I'm your husband. You don't tell your son, be the man of the household. At a young age, at 8 years old, 12 years old, 15 years old. What do you mean be the man of the household? I'm still trying to become a man myself. What do you want from me? That makes no sense. That is manipulation at its finest. She would also say things like, how I remind her of my father, and She would also reminisce about the good times that her and my father used to have. But she always, and to this day, has a deep hatred for my father. To this day, she talk about him. My father not even with her, but she still talk down on my father. She still talk shit about him. She still talk shit about me also. I don't care. So after experiencing these things and hearing this and hearing her nasty lies about me and my father, and hearing her talk about us and how she view me, I realized that mothers hate their sons because of the men that they chose in the past. Meaning your mother hates you because you resemble your father. And every day she looks at you, you remind her of the man that she could not keep or the man that she could not get. And because they can never rekindle the relationship with the father, which they already developed this cycle of obsession with the father anyway. Like they're literally obsessed with people who no longer wants to be involved with them. Meaning your mother is still gonna be obsessed about your father no matter what. Meaning if she talk good about him, she's obsessed. If she's talking bad about him, she's still obsessed. The narcissistic mothers have an obsession with their supply. They're obsessed, knowing that they was the cause of the father leaving in the first place. They was the reason the father left. So guess what? If they couldn't keep the father, they're going to develop that same grossly obsession with their sons, raising and manipulating the sons, ripping them of their masculine energy so that the son can replace the man that she lost. Let's be real. Our mothers didn't care about us. They only cared about themselves. Because sometimes mothers are evil creatures who take no accountability for their own actions. Your mother wasn't raising you to be her son. She was conditioning you to be her husband. Stay blessed.